Hello, and welcome to Path of Exile. As of recent, I've been completely and hopelessly hooked on this game, an ARPG made to be just as, if not more, addictive than the Diablo series. Today, I decided to create a new character at the end of the current Settlers League in the form of a ranger, taking you through what it's like to play this game, as this is my first time playing as this class, and I'm going to be doing a free build. This means that I will not be doing any form of build guide, I will not be doing any loot filters for the early game. I'm just going to be completely going it raw, and we're going to see what I come up with. If it works, it works. If not, no big deal. Now, some of you might be thinking, well, why don't I play Path of Exile 2? And my main reason is this. I don't have the game. So, no more delay. Let us begin. Like I said, this is going to be a new character class on the current league that's been running for a while now, about 6 months now. It's supposed to be ending next month, but the good news is, if that happens, this character will not be completely removed. They will instead just be moved over to a normal league. I'm going to be playing as a ranger in the regular Settlers League. Shut up! Apologies about that. Anyways, yeah, like I said, I'm gonna be starting a new character. In this case, it's gonna be a ranger. We've got all kinds of classes. Eventually, I do want to play as a scion, mainly whenever I know more about building in general, because that is literally right smack in the middle of the passive skill tree, which I will show you in a bit. But for now, let's go ahead and start this new character, and I'm going to name them Shooty McBowperson. How does a character with this name already exist? The sequel, Shooty McBowperson 2. So, welcome in. This is going to be me playing as a ranger for the first time. I'm mostly going to be passing up all the story and whatnot, mainly because nobody plays these games for the story. It's kind of like whenever I was playing Atlas last time. I really didn't pay much attention to the story, not that there was a lot of story to be had, so. Immediately, we will be getting, oh, hold on, there we go. Immediately, we get ourselves our first skill gem. Skill gems are quite literally how you, in this game, unlock skills. So for example, I got Burning Arrow, which for my mana, will shoot a burning arrow. Currently, to start off with, I'm just going to be picking up a whole bunch of stuff, but once I start getting into actually making a build, obviously, I'm going to be changing the way that I think about playing this character. For now, though, momentum support. I don't know what it does, but, I mean, I could read, but right now, reading isn't too important. Now, this game is notoriously tough. Like, I'm talking, there's a lot of people who will play this for the first time and then be like, I am getting hard stuck on certain fights, and I'm not joking, I've had that, and I'm pretty good at this game, all things considered. I have free built every character that I've played in this game, and I've been able to do somewhat well, except for my Marauder, which was a true melee character. Only thing to note about true melee in this game is it is garbage. It's doable, you can absolutely do it, but I would not recommend it. This is coming from someone who loves hitting things with big stick and, you know, hitting them hard with big stick. I'm a Sam Patisse main in Warframe. I'm going to want to hit things with a big-ass fuck-off hammer. Oh, here we go. Hillock. First boss of the game. There are a lot of people who will die to this guy because, like I said, this game is notoriously difficult. So don't be ashamed and don't feel discouraged if you die immediately. But beating him will grant us our first passive skill point. And whenever I say that this game has an in-depth leveling system, well, let me just show you what I mean. So we have our starting point here. You can see our attributes, our intelligence, strength, dexterity, each of which influence different things. Now, as a ranger, I am only really focused on dexterity, I do believe. Well, let me just show you by zooming out how in-depth this skill tree is. Yeah, that's a lot of skills. And a lot of people will look at this and immediately think to themselves, this is too much. And I almost completely agree. Now, your starting point is different depending on what class. In my case, I'm a ranger. I'm down here. The idea is that you can get anywhere you want on this skill tree as long as you have the right amount of points, because every single node costs 1 point. So in this case, we don't have to worry about any of this right now. Instead, what we're going to worry about is our first major decision. So we either get evasion in life or accuracy and increased projectile damage. Now, right now, survivability is not that big of a deal. we can survive pretty much anything at any time. However, later in the game, survivability is the utmost concern. So right now, I'm just going to focus on dealing even more damage. And now we make it to our first town, Lion Eyes Watch. Ooh, we get our first major reward in the form of a new skill gem. So I'm thinking from what I've done in terms of research, I'm either going to want Caustic Arrow or Split Arrow. And in my case, I'm going to go with Split Arrow because I feel like that's going to be the best one for me personally. We've already got a couple quests, as you can see up here, and so we're just going to keep going forward, go along the coast. That's the thing about this game. It's fast. It is very fast. You will be able to just get in, play the game, and have a good time. Yeah, that's good damage right there. And the fact that it's also got crowd DPS is even better. Oh, and that's what momentum does. It gives me a movement speed boost, which is going to be really good. I am gonna need something for mana regeneration or something, and if you look in the top right, you might have seen that little ding that I just got. Fuck off, cannibals. You might have seen that I got a level up to my Split Arrow gem, and I'm about to get one for my momentum support, which is really good. That just means that now it's going to be slightly better, slightly more damage. Now, actually, something that I can do is I can actually equip both of these, and you can see, let me just move this to move only. You can see now I have Burning Arrow on my middle click, which is a really good single target attack. And this is a mechanic exclusive to Settlers. Well, I say exclusive. The League has a unique mechanic. Every league has a unique mechanic, and in this case, they have these mining nodes. It's not like traditional mining where you click on it, you wait for a little bit, and then you do whatever. No, this will engage an encounter. So let's do this. It's gonna take a while because obviously I'm still pretty low power level, and these things do have a fair bit of defense, but I promise it will get a lot faster as time goes on, especially every time I level up, because every time I level up, that means I'm gonna be getting some massive percentage increases to things like, well, projectile damage. And for completing that, I mark this node, and my boys will come in and start mining. And with that, let's go ahead and look at our passives. So I've already started going for projectile damage and accuracy, which is really strong, like I said. So I think that I will just keep going down on this path and just get 10% increased projectile damage and 4% increased attack speed. So that's actually a pretty sizable increase. Numbers start off really small, but by the end game, you're dealing with big numbers, like really sizable numbers. That is a unique enemy. Right now, my main concern is my mana economy. I am having problems with it just at the moment, but that's fine. I'll get better at it eventually. Basically, I just have to remember every time I engage in a fight, just chug a mana potion and then call it good. Let's see, you have a short bow, but that requires me to have level 5. Ugh, that's a little bit of a pain. That is slightly better in terms of damage. Back to the coast we go. I can go down this way because there's 2 paths that you can go. This is basically showing you that there are multiple ways to go. I can go to the mud flats, which is actually the way forward, or I can go down here to the Tidal Island, which is a side objective that I absolutely want to do early on. So in here, gotta find a medicine chest. And I've already got another level up. So that shows you how quickly you can level up in this game if you do well. And early on, it's especially oh, that's a problem. All right. And for that, I get a medicine chest, which is what we were looking for. Now, let's go ahead and look at our passive skills. And I think I'm gonna go with increased projectile damage. I'm currently doing 30.95 per damage per second. So if I do this, 32.83. That's really good. And instead of having to check on your character sheet every time you want to check the DPS, you can also, on many abilities, just hover over it and you can see the DPS right there. Actually, I think that's what I'm going to want because what I'm going to be focusing on in terms of defensive stats, because there are 3 major defensive stats that you will have seen. There's armor, there's evasion, and then there's energy shield. I've learned from playing this game, it's actually better to focus on one whole defensive stat instead of the duo ones, because some of them have duos. You might have like armor and evasion, or armor, and energy shield. But the thing is, those are nowhere near as good as you might expect them to be. Basically, the best way to describe it is that if you don't focus on armor enough, then you will eventually reach a plateau and you will just take bullshit amounts of damage. So instead, it's better to focus on the full thing instead of trying to do a little bit of both. It's like, it's fine if you fully focus on energy shield, it's fine if you fully focus on armor, but if you try to do both, then you're going to get diminishing returns. If I go in here, get some added projectile damage, and we are now up to 34 damage per second. I think I'm actually going to go with chance to poison because poison is really good in this game, actually. In fact, in general, status effects like that are just really strong, so obviously I'm going to do that. Actually, good thing I checked this. We can get a lot of new stuff from here. So for starters, we can actually get a quiver, which will add physical damage to our bow attacks. We'll go ahead and grab that. Now, if I really wanted, because I've already played on this league, I can actually go over here to my stash and you can see, yeah, I got a lot of stuff on here. But I'm gonna see how far I can make it without necessarily relying on that stuff. I will be engaging with some of the league mechanics, like I will be doing Kalgur a little bit, or the Settlers, or whatever you want to call it. These are Roas. They're a pain in the ass sometimes because they can deal a lot of damage. And yeah, I am doing a lot of damage to these. And hey, who knows? Maybe next league, whenever the next league rolls around, whatever it may be, maybe I'll play as a Scion because I will feel confident enough in my own building capabilities and be able to make something truly unique and original. That might be interesting. Let me know if you want to see that, actually, because I'm still playing this game. I'm really loving it. If people are cool with this game and want me to play more, I'm down. All right, and we got our first yellow item, Vine Circlet. Typically, I would not be wanting to use that, but I might actually go ahead and use that because it is a yellow. Yellows are really good, just in general. Let's go ahead and identify that. That's actually pretty good. I will take that. And now we can see what Energy Shield does. Energy Shield gives you bonus health. So that means you can take more damage in one go. But again, damage numbers get so big that you'll eventually end up needing bigger numbers than what you can get by multiple defensive stats. And that's the other thing. Energy Shield regenerates over time, unlike health. Well, I mean, health does also regenerate over time. It just depends on the stat associated with it. Gold! Now, all those like orbs of transmutation and everything that I've been dropping, those are actually called currency items. Those are basically used in order to get you what you want better in terms of gear. So for example, the Orb of Transmutation upgrades a normal item to a magic item. Our white items are normal items, so if I take off my bow, for example, and use one of these on here, it gives me, adds 2 to 10 lightning damage. And I can do the same with my serrated arrow quiver. All right, and then as for skill point, we're gonna go with ballistics. Oh, this is what I want in that case, Aspect of the Eagle. So this will be my next major thing because this also leads into Aspect of the Lynx, increased attack damage. Yeah, look at how we shred these enemies now. That's how powerful one level up can be. Oop, that's a shrine, freezing shrine. So now I should be able to go back up this way. Yeah, we're already getting to the point where we're just one-shotting everything in here. That's why you focus on damage pretty much as possible until probably when you get closer to the end game. As you get closer to the end game, like I mentioned, it will get more and more important for having survivability. But for now, you can absolutely just focus on just dealing damage. Again, I really think that I'm going to do that bleeding because if that's what I think it is. Ooh, dash. I like that. That's a mobility ability. That's 2 passive respec points. That's not what I want. I don't care about that. But that does mean that now, if you look on the passive skill tree, 2 refund points. So, for example, if I don't like having ballistics for some reason, I can just get rid of it. Problem, I want that. All right, so back in the Submerged Passage, we're going to go ahead and keep going. You can see I've now got Dash, which is our first mobility ability. These were actually fully removed from Path of Exile 2 in favor of a dodge roll. Now, it's not as effective, but it has its fans. I will say that much. I have no personal opinion over it because, again, I haven't played the game, but I absolutely could. Grinding your game, send me a code. I will literally play your game for free. That is only if I can say what I want to say about it, because I don't want to be forced into saying things that I don't want to say about a game. If I don't like a game, let me say I don't like a game. All right, level up, so we're going to go for bow damage. Increase damage over time with bow skill. Fuck off. That's a yellow short bow. I want that. That's fucking good. Now, the only thing is, I will lose out on chance to poison. I need it to be linked in that case, so I will hold off for now, because I want chance to poison. All right. Aspect of the Eagle. Now the only thing is I'm trying to figure out where the hell do I even go. I've been to pretty much every single dead end on this map. These guys have extra life. That's slightly annoying. Yeah, but it's not that bad, I guess. 1 mana per enemy killed. That's good. I'm gonna add that. I mean, it's also just good to have something. If you have an empty slot, just put something in it. You really cannot go wrong with just having something in that slot. Eventually, you will start having to upgrade equipment, and it does get a little bit more nuanced, like I mentioned, but really you don't have to start worrying about a lot of the mechanics until the end game. I will be giving my advice as time goes on, so hopefully those of you who are following along with this will be able to understand better how to play this game if you're just starting out. Now, a lot of new endgame players are probably going to be yelling at me because I'm not doing things as well as I could be, but that's okay. You know, I'm just me. I'm just doing what I do. This is how I enjoy playing the game, and this is how I've seen things as I played, and so I am backtracking a little bit of a ways so that I can go and grab this waypoint. Apparently I missed something in the flooded depths. Oh, was I supposed to awaken this and I just didn't? Yes, I was. If it isn't obvious already, I tend to not do those events because the items that they drop really aren't the best, if I'm being honest. Whispering Essence of Woe will upgrade a normal item to a rare with 1 guaranteed property. And those properties are based on whatever item that I'm going to be using it on. So like for a ring or a belt, it'll be Energy Shield. It's mainly just a good thing if you have like a normal piece of gear and you want to guarantee it gets one of that stat. Ah, this is what I've been waiting for. Book of Skill. The single best item they ever created for this game. For completing that quest, I got a Book of Skill, which using it gives me a passive skill point for free. That is single-handedly the single best reward that you can give anyone in this kind of game. It's fucking dope. Ooh, this can be a tough boss. Basically, just keep an eye out for the little area of effect things, and there we go. We made it. Ooh, this is a timeless monolith. Okay. This is a fun random event that can happen in certain levels. It creates a whole bunch of these guys that you can see that just spawn in, and whenever you kill them, when the timer is up, it will spawn them for you to fight fully. It is worth a lot of experience. It can get you a lot of gear, and in general, it's a bit of a challenge. I'm probably gonna die, but let's see. Oh, that's a lot of enemies. Oh, that's a lot of enemies. Oh, that's a lot of enemies. Oh, that's way too many enemies. Sometimes running away is a valid strategy. Oh my god, look at that over there. Look at all of them. That's not even the most enemies I've seen in these events. I've seen way more. Attack mastery. What does that do? Attacks fire an additional projectile. Okay, that's what I'm going for, but how do I get there? Like, is there any of these I want? Accuracy, maximum frenzy charges. Oh, that actually is an interesting mechanic. If I go to my character sheet and look at charges, frenzy charges, you can have up to 3 of them right now. Affect attack speed, cast speed, and damage by a percentage, and I believe those are multiplicative. So right now, it goes up to 12% more for each of them. So yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna go with. Ooh, Orb of Fusing. I will take that. Orb of Fusing, I'm actually going to want to use that because it reforges the links between sockets on an item. Basically, you can take a gem of the same color and put it in there. If they have a link, they can be supported. This doesn't have a link, but if I use this Orb of Fusing, it does now. So now let's go ahead and put both of those on there. We'll go ahead and place that on there. And that is going to be an upgrade to our DPS. I'm already at 202 DPS on what I'm using as my primary. All right, dungeon time. Ooh, that's a shrine. I want that. Man, I am really gonna need haste on this character because she's really slow right now. Oh, that's a new Settlers thing. This is an Orichalcum vein. This will start summoning a bunch of demons for you to fight, but once you've beaten them all, you get a shrine effect, which in this case is a lightning strike to any nearby enemies. All right, so we are now approaching our first boss, and this guy can absolutely beat your ass if you're not careful. So I'm gonna have to focus for this fight, basically, is what I'm saying. Oh, wow, that was the easiest I've taken down that guy. Holy shit. So yeah, that's usually like one of the first parts where people will absolutely get destroyed if their build is not good. But that is the moment where you're just like, if your build sucks, you're gonna know really early on. And you might have to go back and grind, or you might have to use some of those respec points. I'm actually going to go with this one, Mana Forged Arrow support, because, yes, supported skills deal 40% less damage, but supported skills trigger once total mana spent on other bow attacks exceeds 300% of their mana cost. Let me take a look at Puncture. Puncture currently costs 9 mana. So at 300%, that means it's going to cost 27 mana, meaning that it is doing 27% more damage, which is 13% less of what I currently have, but that's still really freaking good. Accuracy and critical strike chance to you and your allies. I want that. That's good. If I go talk to Nessa over here, because that does also work on Puncture, so the idea is that every time I spend 27 mana, which on this thing is going to be every 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... Every 5 attacks of Split Arrow, it will shoot a Puncture Arrow. Also, while I'm at it, let me sell everything, clear out my inventory a little bit.
This should put a dent in your arrogance.
Wait, I'm sorry. Non-Vol Strike's skills target 1 additional nearby enemy? I don't know if that works how I think it does, but if it does, I want that. Ooh, Enduring Cry. That's a really good... If you have the strength to use it, that's actually a really good skill to use, Enduring Cry. The user and allied players also gain endurance charges. What that means, you will gain damage reduction up to 12% by default. If you really want to start surviving, endurance charges are a must. I would highly recommend it.
I'm not up to that yet. Rung closer to the top of the food chain.
What's my DPS look like? 211? Hell yeah. Hell yes. Oh, we gotta go talk to Bestie. Oh, that's why he's my bestie. He gives me a book of skill. Oh my god. Oh, that was scary. Oh, that. Oh. Yeah, that's what it's like to play Path of Exile sometimes. You will have near-death experiences like that very frequently. I don't know how I made it out of that alive, but I'm glad that I did. Holy fucking shit, look at all those fellas. And up here is the boss of the act. And this one is, once again, pretty tough. Yeah, that's one of the main reasons that she is kind of a pain to deal with, is because of the simple fact that she chills. chill will actually slow you down, which combine that with pretty high damaging area attacks that you can't really dodge out of the way of because, you know, you're chilled. Yeah, it can be a little bit annoying. Time for phase 2! Oh, that was a lot. Oh, that was a lot of damage. But I do believe that's it. I win. Woo!
For a man.
And because of that, we have made it to the Southern Forest. And Act 2. It really didn't take too long, just 2 hours. And up here is the forest encampment. Okay, so I have absolutely been playing this for about 2 hours now, trying to make some form of commentary, but I'm going to take a little bit of a break, and obviously, y'all ain't going to see that. This is more so for myself. Like I said, I'm going to go ahead and take a little short break. You're not going to see it, but whenever I come back, we will do Act 2. Alright, so that was a bit of a lie. Turns out, I actually had a lot more footage of this playthrough than I thought I would. If you enjoyed this video, I would appreciate y'all doing some engagement stuff like comment, subscribe, whatever. And who knows, maybe I will go ahead and play some more of this. After all, we are getting into Act 2 and then Act 3, which introduces ascendancies. So anyways, that's going to be all for me. Goodbye.